Hello, and welcome to ATP Health Hackers. My name is Tina.
Alexis.
Hello. Last week, we're going to get started right away. We did a example of what happens when you order your epigenetics test. Again, we're starting to talk about epigenetics as one of our first topics because when we did our very first introduction to ATP Health Hackers and we mentioned that word, we had the most questions asked about what that is and what it does. So we ordered a test so we can show everybody exactly how easy it is to get your own epigenetics test. One of the reasons why you would do an epigenetics test is if you had your health was down, you weren't feeling your best, just something wasn't right. It's one of the tools you use to get started. Some people will start with a blood test. They might use this as their first step. But together, when you use both of those tools, you're able to accomplish and attack whatever the actual problem is. This helps you jumpstart it. It's a lot less expensive. And if you didn't have the money to do it with supplements and things like that, we'll be able to show you how you can do it with food. So that was the reason why we picked epigenetics.
And then I will be sharing my results. I'm the one that actually did the test. And then we'll kind of go through the test, what it looks like, things that pop out. Obviously, it's individualized, so yours won't look like mine, but we wanted to just show you kind of what it
Yes.
looks
So to remind everybody, last week we sent away for Alexis's kit. It came in the mail, and in the mail, it also comes with directions via a QR code. You can look at that QR code and it'll tell you exactly where to pull the hair. We did all those things for Alexis, and then it has a self-addressed stamp. We put that in the mail. It gets shipped to the company Cell Wellbeing in Chicago. The results come from Germany, and then once they analyze Alexis's hair, it comes to me via email. And then once I receive it, I then spend about 2 days kind of going through the report. Now, we're not going to go through Allie's entire report because that would take about an hour and 45 minutes, but I'm going to show you what key areas and how you can attack what could be going on in your health. Now, Alexis was a little disappointed when she got a report back because a lot of times, most of the clients that I've ever worked with, the one thing that they're really excited for is there's a set of foods, and you want to go to the foods? There'll be 12 food items that they tell you to avoid. This introduction is great.
I know what page is on, I guess.
The page 3. So the first page is just an introduction, kind of tells you what we're going to do. But anyway, the most thing that people are excited about is the foods that
It's opposite of me. It's
point there.
this. Yeah, but I'm looking at myself here. It's this corner
First
right
chart.
here.
Okay. So it'll say food restriction summary. Now there's 12 foods. And Alexis, when she opened it up, she happened to be in Dallas at a conference learning how to do PRP and something else. What was it? Your pellet placement. Okay. And she's like, oh, I was so excited. But she's like, I don't even eat any of those foods, Mom. And I said, I'm really sorry. You're like the only person out of all my clients that has ever said that. And I do have a friend who knows someone who that the same thing happened to her. The reason why we get excited about having foods in there to avoid is usually those foods. Alexis has been challenged with, she said she just can't drop a couple pounds lately. Sometimes those particular foods are causing inflammation or something in the body. And when you stop eating those, you tend to lose weight, which is one of the reasons why people do this.
Above that food restriction summary, it says the system support summary, and those are all my systems that I really am lacking in. So that's like microbial balance, digestion, and hormone. So those all are associated with weight too. So it may not be your foods that are causing inflammation, but your internals are out of whack, which it looks like mine are. So
I'm going to get to that. So see the key optimization review
circle chart behind my head.
A circle chart. So there's usually 16 systems, and of course they're not going to point out all 16 systems. So what the report does, this is why they make a big emphasis on 90 days. So the first report you ever do, it's going to pick up your first 4 systems that they consider priority, that they want you to attack right away. And Alexis, number 1 is amino acids. Number 2 is foods, which is interesting. Number 3, oh, I said so if you're playing along with the drinking game that we started in episode 1, go ahead, take a drink. whatever that is, if it's alcohol or milk or whatever. And then 3 was minerals and 4 was resistance. Now, resistance is the one that I'm going to concentrate on in this report because she can avoid these foods, no problem. I don't really see her eating too many of them. Actually, she doesn't eat any of them. I do.
No.
It looks like it could be a report for me.
Yeah, it's more like that looks like a Swedish diet, which I am Swedish with
Yeah.
the herring and
But doesn't it look like something I
Longanberry
eat? I eat
spelt.
artichokes all the time. I love loganberries. I love lettuce, raspberries, wheat. I mean, pumpkins. I love all that. Okay, let's go to the next page because I want to,
The microbial digestion
yeah, I wanted to go to
hormone.
that. So one thing I want to talk about is when I did my first test, which is several years ago, I had just had a blood test. It was right after COVID, and Alexis and I were helping a lot of people with COVID. So at the time, we were doing the entire vitamin protocol, the vitamin D, quercetin, vitamin C, zinc, where we were taking those morning and night. And we never really got sick. So it was great. We would build ourselves up with those particular vitamins, and I can go into anyone's house, help them make soup, whatever we did, and we didn't get sick. But when I did a physical, my yearly physical, my vitamin D was through the roof. And she's like, this is really odd because most people don't have enough. But I walk outside, I do a lot of things outside, and I was taking a lot of vitamin D, which could be dangerous because it's a fat soluble vitamin. So she asked me to not take it at all. And the only reason why I'm talking about it right now is when I did my report, it was highlighted vitamin D. So the person reading the report to me said, oh, your vitamin D is really low. And if I had not done the blood test, I would have just gone along with what she said. And I said, are you sure it's low? And she goes, why do you ask? And I said, because it's highlighted and it was filled in, which means it's a priority for me to pay attention to. But I happened to tell her that what happened on my blood test. So even this report, my point and what I'm saying is, even this report, you still have to know your body, and we can only do and help you as best as the knowledge that we have. So once I shared that knowledge with her, then we decided to do actually a detox to my liver because it was probably built up and I had too much inside me.
So the areas of concern, the highlighted, that doesn't mean like deficient.
It doesn't mean deficient.
It
necessarily.
means you need to pay attention to those areas. I
Yes.
guess the more clarifying.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's that actually, because honestly, before that, she had never had that happen. And this is one of the women that I considered an expert in the area who's been doing this for several years. And we talked about what would qualify someone as an expert or not, having 10,000 hours or more. I don't have 10,000 hours in training in this, but this particular person did. So see, even going to an expert, we, her and I together were able to figure out what that particular highlighted square meant. Okay, so we went and we talked about a little bit about digestion. Alexis takes a lot of supplements. She's very good on her supplements. She is working on her hormone health with the beef organs and all those things that you take to help with her menstrual cycle.
Yeah, take heart and soul. They have a beef organ, and then they have a like her support, which are also organs, but they're like ovarian and fallopian tube. And I have definitely noticed a difference in my cycle. I don't like the differences, but I know it's optimizing my menstrual cycles now,
And it's
so.
healthier for you.
Yeah.
All right, let's just skip through the report a little bit because I wanted to get to the one area I wanted to concentrate on with you. Let's first talk about page 5. So page 5.
Sorry.
That's a
1 second.
Page 5, if you look to the far right, it'll say 35 or plus support, moderate support. And then if you move down,
2 fingers down.
okay, 2 fingers down. If you move down, it'll say maintenance support. So if you see Allie's total, it's 81. So that's a big deal because that's above total value of high support. But an area that I wanted to concentrate on that I thought was really important because I know that where you see in resistance indicator, and that was the part of the test that I wanted to concentrate on for her because that's about 37 points in that area. Again, wheat and barley, which she doesn't eat. So I'm going to recommend to her to start looking at ingredients in foods that maybe there's wheat or barley in some of your vitamins because we don't know what they're bound with. And some of your, those bars that you have, those perfect bars.
No.
So you want to look for those 2 ingredients. That's the thing. So a lot of times what
But I
happens,
have been eating a lot of sugar.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that too, because both of us. But when olive shows up, people are like, oh, I don't really eat olives, but you have to look at the entire
For olive oil?
firstly, olive oil, what part of olive oil could be in foods and ingredients. So you can take this and really investigate what's going on. Alexis has molds and spores. I wanted to go to the resistance because that was where you had a lot of points. Virus, sugar, which is wheat. We're going to talk about that. Wheat and barley. Okay. On the mold and spores, we can kind of kick that out right away because Alexis can do an IV drip of high vitamin C glutathione. And within a couple weeks, if she does 1 or 2 IV drips, she can kind of knock that out. She could have been sick or had a virus that day. We're going to get to the virus page, and it's her whole entire thing is lit up. It's virus, post-virus, virus,
Lands all the way at the end.
mold, and spores. Why I know I wanted to see why there's so many points. Minus that, just with 1 IV drip of the vitamin C, liposomal glutathione, that would help her. And as you can see, she needs vitamin C. She needs vitamin C in like 3 different areas. And I noticed vitamin C was all over her chart. The reason why I bring it up is she also takes a lot of vitamin C.
I do.
So I don't know if it's a good quality vitamin C. I'm going to recommend to her that she starts doing the injectables. And what I want her to do to start off with is do an IV bag of vitamin C and liposomal glutathione so that when she does this test again in 90 days, I bet you those will be completely off. And then she'll have a cleaner liver. With the liver clean, a lot of these other items are going to clear up as well. So this is really important. This is where you kind of concentrate. All of the reports are condensed into this. When you see this high value, it would explain why she's tired, why she gets run down midday, a little irritable, sensitive. Some of the emotions that you go through, I feel, have a lot to do with not necessarily the foods that we eat, but even just our environment, whatever's going on. Why does she have virus, post-virus, and molds all in one area? It's very strange for her to have all that, but she hasn't been feeling fantastic. So let's skip through because you can read all this. What did the gut indication too, the gut support indicators too. So when your gut is working perfectly, everything else kind of comes together. So I want her to work on her gut health. Again, wheat came up, so I really want you to start looking at your ingredients in your foods. We want to improve your microbiome balance, digestion, and so all that we can kind of work with the gut support. She doesn't do a lot of probiotics.
No, I don't do any.
So I'm going to recommend a pre, a pro,
And post.
and a post. And postbiotic, I've been doing a lot of training in that. There's one, it's called Acromatia, and they're having great help. They're having great work. I can't think of the word.
Results?
Not just results. When people are using the semaglutide and the different peptides for weight loss, they're having the clients follow with this Acromatia afterwards. Part of semaglutide is it slows down your response for the food emptying process, and then you have to work on your gut access and your gut health. So we fooled around with those. We like them. I think they're great for lots of things. But as far as digestion help, I think once she starts with a really good post, and prebiotics we can get in foods. Now, one more thing I wanted to mention, I would normally have this written in my notes, is we're calling out a lot of things here. We're saying IV drip and injectables and supplements. But if someone couldn't afford that and they just want to work on their health, what I love about this report is after each area, it'll tell you the foods that you can eat. So we're going to go to gut and immune system, and it'll point out the areas, and it'll tell you foods that they suggest, foods that she should avoid, and it'll tell you how many days and what she should do. So not everybody can afford, like we have access to all of the vitamins and the minerals and the injectables. So for us, it's really easy. But for some people, as you're watching this, you're like, gosh, it's going to cost me a lot of money to feel better. In saying that, look, you can see you can do it with food as well. And that's what I would mostly work on when I am working with someone. We try to start with food. If I see, like, again, she came back sick in 3 areas, I recommended that to her so she'll feel better right away. Once you feel better, you're going to want to work on all these other areas. So let's just go through the report. I don't want to go through this whole report, but I wanted to show you when we go back to the beginning, page 1, page 3, you can see all the different areas that she can work on, just to show the people, like, these are what showed up for her, but there's 16. So this report's going to look totally different than my report. It's too bad we didn't have my report, my last report, and your report. You can see that, people say we look alike, but our insides are completely different. I really do eat a lot of probiotics. I drink kombucha. I love all the kefirs. I love all those foods. I do take a pre, post, and probiotic. And so I concentrate a lot on gut health, but I've been concentrating on that for a long time. I have a little bit of arthritis. So I try to, fix that from the inside out. Now, getting back to both of us. For the last, 2-3 months, our sugar craziness, just going crazy with sugar, both of us. We don't know really why we're doing it, other than probably, starting a new business. Alexis went from one job where they weren't very nice to her and it caused a lot of stress for her. And then she moved into another position, learning at a really high level. And so I think that's a lot. That causes a lot of stress. And then her and I commiserate, shouldn't be doing that. I know better. Just because you know better doesn't mean you always do better. So one of the things that we're here to tell you is we're human too. Like, we can sit here and talk to you and act like we do all these perfect things. But look, we're not perfect. I'm not perfect, most definitely.
Well, that's why I did this test, to show everybody.
Exactly. So now, from your point of view, Alexis, I know we didn't go through the whole test. I don't want to spend, more time on it. Is there one area on here that you want to concentrate more on? Was there something that stood out to you when you looked at it? What would be something you'd want to tell our audience here?
Well, for the amount of sugar that I have been eating, I was surprised.
Yes.
Like on this
Which page is
page 4, like the sugar, it looks like I metabolize it good, but it's still highlighted on
Yes.
page 5 on my food
Resistant.
resistance. So
Yes.
it is very quite interesting how the body processes it all.
Yeah, and your B vitamins. A long time ago, Alexis went and saw Christina. She's a nurse practitioner.
Yes,
And she really helped her. And your B vitamins were off then.
Yes. This one in particular, it's interesting, just B2 is highlighted because I take a B complex as well as B12 in addition.
Yes.
They're not the best source of vitamins, so I think I definitely will be investigating in that. I know it's pricey, but it does pay off in the long run. Healthy. We have vitamins through this company.
Yes. Full script?
Full script.
Also, those are supplements. So like any supplement you need, you want to make sure that, number one, it's not coming from, I don't want to sound prejudiced, China. You want to make sure that it's coming from a clean lab source, so that the difference between, some people have a battle between organic, non-organic, synthetic, non-synthetic. And what I learned,
methylated.
I learned in college, the one thing I learned that it's probably wrong too, because it seems like everything I learned for dietitian has changed, is actually, I just found out that the FDA is going to redo the food pyramid, which I'm really excited about. You should be very excited about that. They just recently agreed to highlight 6 food coloring dyes that they're going to remove from all the food in the United States, which is amazing, because take a box of cereal here that our kids would eat, has over 32 ingredients, some crazy amount of ingredients. And in Europe, there's only 12 ingredients. So that's really good news for America. I'm really happy that we're going to be working on that. And that's going to help things like this. So it all ties in.
There is one section, it didn't highlight for me, but I did want to point it out because it is interesting, this frequency indicators. Just a side note, we did have one of my mom's clients, her son was like breaking out in really weird rashes all the time. Tons of doctors couldn't figure out. They did finally go to a Chinese functional medicine.
Holistic.
He did not do this hair, skin, and nails analysis, but
he does something very similar.
But he told her, where is the computer or TV in his bedroom? And it was like sleeping right next to him. And once she moved it to the appropriate, like, approximation away,
he told her how many feet away,
all those things popped up. So that's why I just wanted to come to the screen. I do try my best to really pay attention to this.
You can see that mobile phone is
Yes.
lit up, and radio frequency, which I have a radio frequency tester. And so I bought those radio frequency things. I put them on all of our cell phones, and I did that a couple of years ago.
And kind of to highlight, even from our first episode, just make even one little simple change at a time.
Yes.
And these are even simple changes that you can do.
That's not overwhelming.
No, like turning your Wi-Fi off on your phone. And I know it's inconvenient, but maybe leaving it on your desk or your
You probably would sleep better.
dresser that's not next to your bed. But yeah, if you have any questions or interested, definitely reach out at Alexis at atp-health.net, and then we can kind of discuss the process, what that looks like. And then I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Okay. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share. We want you to continue with your life hacks because, like you said, one change a month, a day, a year. I did something really good. I think is good. I hate when people walk around with the Stanley cups and the jugs and all those things all the time.
Yeah.
But I do go to Starbucks often, and I do take a coffee with me from here. And even though it's in that paper,
lined with
it's
plastic
lined with plastic, and so
a
my
plastic straw
a plastic straw
with heat.
with heat is like the worst you could do. So I did get a little 10-ounce Yeti, and I got a glass straw. And so even if I go to Starbucks, I pull over and pour it inside there and drink it. And so I can say that I did that this week. And that's something that I've been battling because I hate carrying that around. I hate the germ effect. I hate when people drink on those all day. I always think that they wash it, that they sanitize it. It's just something with me. I have a thing about cleanliness. And so it's just something with me. I'm not making fun of anyone who does it. I just personally don't like it, but I did make that change. And so I'm going to report that. I noticed it when I was keeping track for you guys when we were doing the 3-day life hack. What do we call it? Life hack?
The journal?
The journal. And how many times I went to Starbucks or brought a coffee from home. And so I did work on that. Took me a while to find just the right cup and
yes, she bought like 20.
Just the right straw that fits inside there. So
the first one she bought was like the little tiny mini. It was like 6 ounces.
I couldn't believe how I didn't really get like the sizes, but yeah, anyway, Starbucks, I mean, Staples and Amazon, and thank goodness you can just return and all that stuff. But we're really enjoying working with you. We're so excited about the people that leave comments. Yesterday, the fun fact was our first mobile concierge order that was fulfilled. I picked it up, drove to Laverne, dropped one off there, and then had somebody in Pasadena. I actually brought her medication, taught her how to do her first shot. And as soon as I left the door, she gave me a 5-star review and a little text message to me. And it meant a lot to me because, we have our little stickers on the bag and it's very personal, but I was excited to do it. I called Alexis immediately and I was proud of us. We're working at a goal that we can do together.
Yes. So if you have any questions, reach out.
Questions, comment, like, share, subscribe.
Yes.
All those things.
And tune in to us next week.
Kim, if you're watching, say hello to Nolan. We want to know about his games.
Yeah. See you soon.
Bye.